This is DownHome Sports, covering the best sports and student athletes in Ellis County. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank with ATM Live, powered by the people. Not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. The United States Marine Corps, the fighting spirit of an entire nation. Doe City Pizza and Burgers. For the best in artisan pizza and burgers, go to Doe City in Red Oak, Texas, across from the high school. It is delicious.
Hey, folks, guess what? We got a special guest here tonight. We got Miss Emma Best from Midlothian Soccer. Emma, of course, y'all may remember seeing her in the papers and stuff last year. She was the 2021 Defensive Player of the Year for District 14-5A. She was also the TASCO 2021 All-State Honorable Mention as a sophomore. I mean, that's pretty darn incredible. 5 goals, 6 assists on the season. Took the Panthers to the third round as a big part of that team as they went 16-4-5, 10-0-2 in district, and made it to the third round of the playoffs. Well, Emma, I mean, what got you into soccer? What started your passion for this game?
Ever since I was younger, my dad was really big on soccer. So of course I wanted to do what he loved. And my whole family's really soccer, all into it. So that's what started it.
Okay. Well, and you played for a lot of club teams, and stuff like that. Now you're on a national team playing all over the United States, which got to be amazing.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we talked about this last season, right? Then we get past that season, you have an injury. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So July 6th, I had surgery and I tore my ACL and my MCL at practice. So basically at that time, I went into a really mentally not well state and physically, because I went from having soccer day to day, practicing, getting better for, my next step. And then it all just went crashing down. And that's where it all went downhill. And then once I had surgery, I was still in that bad state. And then I went into PT 2 hours, 3 hours a day, really got myself. And I feel like as much as I was getting into it physically, mentally, it was a really big challenge as much as it was physically.
Well, let's take it a little bit step by step on that, okay? So July 6th, you have your surgery. Apparently, you have had amazing doctors with you. But, that 1 week after your surgery, you're already walking.
Yes.
Okay? And I know as an athlete and as active as you have always been in the sport, you're constantly moving. I know you constantly work on your game too.
Yes.
Little drop drills, stuff like that. But 1 week out, what does it do to your mind state when all this all of a sudden has been taken away from you? You don't know what the result's going to be, but you get to go walk that first time. Just what does that do? Does that help you mentally? Does that cause you some struggles figuring out, this could take forever?
Yeah, mentally, actually, I was told that I wouldn't be able to walk for about 3 weeks. So whenever I went into PT, and I have been blessed with incredible family and my surgeon and my PT most of all for pushing me. But once I got in that mindset to where I could do it and I could overcome it, that's whenever I took those first steps. And once I finally did that, and within a week, I knew what all I could do. So.
Well, and then 4 weeks out, you're doing band work.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're saying you were in a bad place, but your bad place must be Shangri-La, because you have just pushed through this. I mean, talking about taking the steps, from just being able to walk after surgery, because that's a brutal surgery, but taking the ability to walk 1 week and then 3 weeks later, you're out there, and they're light bands to most people. But when you're just learning how to walk again, does that not keep it inspiring you and driving you just to reach a little bit heavier and heavier?
Having to restart, like learning how to walk again and all of those different steps and how I was touching the ball and how I was turning. Because for a while, I actually couldn't walk and turn fast with my left side because of my knee. But once I finally got comfortable, I knew what I had to do to get back to where I used to be, because that is my one passion and that's what I've been pushing for. So I knew I couldn't let this small injury stop.
Well, in the meantime, and I got a couple more dates here, some highlights I want to go over during your recovery. But during the meantime, your national team is out playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you well enough to know you're watching film. You're there as much as you can be. So what was that struggle like, getting to see everybody continue on while you're going through this grueling process?
Actually, that was one of the most things that mentally tore me down, was watching my team and watching everybody get to do. And for a while, I was trying to figure out what I could blame, like if I could blame the shoes or if I could blame me making contact when I tore it. And then I realized it didn't matter how it happened or why it happened, especially to me. I was wondering, like, why did it happen to me and not other athletes playing? But then in the end, I was like, it doesn't matter from here. It just matters where I get myself and how I can keep continuing to make that name.
Well, and we're going to jump ahead a little bit here to September the 14th. I could see you running on a treadmill with support. I think it was like 80% of your body weight was on the treadmill at that time. I mean, we're not talking that long of a time till you're running.
Yes.
Okay. So was that a turning point for you when you finally started being able to run in a straight, of course, in a straight line, but just to start building back up that muscle support around those areas?
Yes. And I really had to take it day by day there was a lot of checking points and paths from walking and starting to turn. And then once I hit that running point, that's what really brought it all together. And I was like, I'm not really stuck in this one position and I can get myself better. And whenever I was out, I was watching film consistently and looking at the patterns and every running path, everything.
Well, and then you go 2 weeks later and you get cleared to start doing some light footwork and things like that. And I saw you out there shoving people and everything else and getting that stuff done. But did that just take your spirits? I mean, you may have been really low at that point, but how much did that just touching the ball again? How much did that did you want to cry at that point?
Yes, that first touch of the ball, it hit me so hard. And I was like trying to keep it all good, but getting that feel, it made me realize that I didn't lose everything.
Well, and just a couple of days ago, you're cleared to participate again. And the first thing you do is you go back to your national team. And in a national game, y'all win 3-0 over New York.
Yes.
How great was that moment, being there with all these people?
That feeling, I mean, especially just stepping on the field again and like getting to hear people yell my name, that's what really hit me. Not even what I did on the field, but taking that first step and realizing it was all worth it. All of the after surgery, that pain, the struggle to learn how to walk again, it was all so worth it in that moment.
Well, we're going to get to your family in just a moment, okay? But for 5 months, you're going through the ups and downs of a recovery. And these are recoveries that most people, I mean, when you tear both, it's pretty darn severe. To be back in 5 months on the pitch is amazing to me, okay? But talk about some of those people from your national team and from your high school team that were they being supportive? Were they staying in contact with you? Did that make you still feel like, hey, I got to get back to my girls?
Well, actually, whenever I first joined the nationals team, it was 2 weeks later when I got hurt.
Oh, wow.
I was wondering, like, was I still going to have that chance and that possibility? But our assistant coach's daughter actually tore both of her ACLs, and it was because of genetics. And it just brought me closer to the team, if anything, because I connected with her. And she's actually one of the key reasons why I was so uplifted and I wasn't hard on myself, because I saw her after her injuries out on the field, like throwing her body and like getting to all these amazing balls. And that's what really, and then for high school, I'm so close with all of the girls and I feel so blessed that I have that connection with them. And Coach Guest and Coach Mack, you realize once you get on a team, it's not just physically like you get thrown out on the field, but mentally they're so connected with you. And it really feels like a family.
Well, and I know, having covered y'all for a couple of years, doing radio and stuff, I know how close, tight-knit that Panther soccer family is. But, then you got your own family, and I know y'all are a very competitive bunch over there. But, but what about them? How did they handle things too? Because when you hear this, I mean, you are one amazing soccer player. Let's just get that straight, folks. Okay. This young lady, you need to go see her sometime. She's amazing. Okay. You're sitting there as a sophomore, you're getting the defensive player of the year. After that season, you're probably starting to think, okay, college opportunities are coming. I got a national deal. I might be able to get a pretty big scholarship here. And then this happens. How did the family did that ever come in mind, or was it just get me back on the pitch?
Well, with my family, I think they all had such high hopes for me too. So when they saw me, and that was the first time I truly broke down about it, they were all really hurt, and like they all really connected to my injury as well. But then I was most of all nervous of upsetting my parents because they've put in so much work for me, and I'm so blessed to have them. But once I got like through those first few steps and I saw them all come and they were like, you can do this, that's what pushed me, because I just want to make them proud.
Well, I know you make them proud. Just forget that for a second, okay? But talk about those bonds that were made. I mean, you've got your family bonds. You've been through games and ups and downs and stuff like this. But when you go through something like this as a family, does it not make you appreciate everybody even that much more?
Yes, because I've always felt like on the field and off the field, I'm a very independent person. But once I needed, because once you hit that injury, you need the people closest to you. And it really, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but it connected all of us in that sense. And it just brought me closer to them and realized how many loved people I have around me.
Well, what was the biggest inspiration for you in going through this process? Is there something that you personally took away from this for the future that you would like to share with other young women out there? I mean, we have a lot of ACL and MCL tears in women's sports nowadays for whatever reasons it may be, okay? But there's a lot of that going out. And, I mean, your recovery was probably the fastest one I've ever seen, to be honest with you. But just, is there something that you would like to share to young ladies out there that are going to go through this probably this season, here in Ellis County?
I think there's so much like I want to spread out, but overall, no matter what other people say to you, once it first hits you, you're going to try and place blame on something, and you're going to question why it happened to you and what's going on. But overall, after the fact that it's happened, all you can do is push through it with yourself, and you'll really realize who's all around you, and it'll bring you better. And honestly, for me, visually, it's brought me as a better player. I know that it's hard to believe that at first because it was hard for me to believe, but it really helps you show like how grateful you are. And it brought me so much closer to soccer, and it brought a passion to me, because after not playing for 5 months, it was like, once I stepped on that field, it really like hit me, and it was like, do this, and it was nonstop. And I didn't lose that love for it.
Well, I know the national game was really big for you, but what's it going to be like? I mean, we're talking Ellis County right now, but what's it going to be like to put that Panther uniform back on and take the pitch with your girls?
Well, so actually, I'm not going to be playing till December 21st, just that way. Because me and my whole team of PT and surgeons, they all agreed to jump into club and high school at the same time, because we all think for recovering and all of that, you don't want to just push yourself, which recovery is a big deal. Yeah. And so, but once I get to put that number on again, 17 since freshman year, it's all gonna connect.
No, so what's been one of the things about, just, has this brought you to an awareness that, are you wanting to go out and talk to people now, like some of the young soccer girls, things, or, have you learned from your PT and your surgeons some precautionary stuff that you could do to help that from becoming an injury?
Yes, and especially with like picking out your cleats, there's like certain cleats that, not completely prevent, but they make it better for your knees and like for twisting. But I got really interested in physical therapy and like wanting to help people push those limits and, get themselves better. And then I've been really interested in like sharing my story like I am with you. It means a lot, and I know it means a lot to other people.
Well, I tell you what, folks, If you haven't ever seen this young lady, this right here is one of the hardest working people I've ever seen in soccer. And I know during this time off, you talked a lot about watching film, Now, did that give you a better, do you think that's going to make you a better defenseman as you now know the chess game probably from a different angle than you ever have?
Yes, visually, since I couldn't run at the time when I couldn't shoot, it was like I didn't want to lose in touch with the field. So I would go over old game films and I would circle out where I could have gone or where I could have stopped it. And then I would watch the film from high school and see, how did she score and how did she get past our defense? And it made me feel still connected and, if anything, learn better visually.
That's pretty darn awesome. Can you just, in a couple words, and I know it's going to be hard to do this in a very couple words, but just tell about the amazing inner strength this young woman showed through this whole thing.
She does. She's amazing. She's strong. She never gave up. Not going to lie. There was days it was rough, but she never gave up. She kept fighting. She's amazing. She is. We love her.
We know that. Well, folks, I'm going to tell you what, make sure that you follow this young lady. She's been doing a great job of documenting her story as she went. I'm sure she's going to continue to do that. So the young ladies out there playing soccer can know what to do preventatively or how you can overcome things. And Emma, we want to congratulate you on overcoming this monstrous deal here. And we know that there's nothing more than the best for you to come. And folks, I'm going to tell you right now, she's great on the pitch. She's even better off of it as a person. For DownHome Sports, we thank you for joining us and sharing just a little bit of your story with us tonight.
Yes, thank you so much.
Do you know the difference?
Well, the best benefit in having true benefits is the fact that they're easy. You can get a hold of them. It's not 2 days later, a week later, I can make a phone call. If they don't have the answer, they'll get us the answer within 24 hours.
He came to the office and interviewed all of our girls and did a presentation, told them what they were offering, and the girls were able to decide what they needed.
They came in and gave us options both for our company and our employees that were affordable and beneficial for all.
No matter the size of your business or your employees' needs, True Texas Benefits is the partner for you.
Because Ellis County knows the difference.
True Texas Benefits for all your benefits needs.
Coming in, the Ovilla Christian men's basketball team, spearheaded by Coach Johnson. We've got Wyatt Benoist, we've got Caleb Berkey, and we've got Micah Fitch joining us. We thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evenings to jump on here and shine a little light to the basketball program. So, Coach Johnson, I'll slide over there to you first. You've got a team that lost two of its seniors. And I believe y'all had a kid transfer out as well, but two main seniors gone. But for the most part, the whole group of your team is returning off a season where you guys did go 20-7 and then lost a heartbreaker to the TCHS 59-54. How are you feeling with another year of this group? Kind of the same core guys, these guys that are on here with us. How do you feel at the start of this season being just 9-2?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this group. I feel like it's unfinished business for us from last year, as we lost a heartbreaker in a 2-possession ball game the entire game. So I'm excited about our leadership. I've got guys that are gym rats. They just want to get up shots and put in that work. And so I'm looking forward to this. This season already. I'm looking forward to having some practices. We've had more games than practices. We've actually had 5 official basketball practices with all our football guys and everybody, and we're 9-2. And so we definitely beefed up the schedule and probably have one of the toughest schedules in the state in Class 2A TAPS. And so we're excited and we're ready to go.
Wyatt, I'm going to slide down to you. Being a senior this year, talk about the leadership that comes with it. I know you were one of the key factors last year as a junior, but now you have that title of this is your last year. You know, those younger guys look up to you seniors. Talk about the extra responsibility. Have you felt it? And does this senior year feel any different than years past?
I have felt it. I mean, these younger guys, they look up to us. And Jack Shack, he's a hard role to fill. I mean, he averaged double digits in rebounds. So it's a hard role to fill, but we're doing our best to fill it. And I know those guys are looking up to us. And we just got to stay strong, you know, not put our heads down when things are going tough and things. And that's I would say I haven't felt it too much yet, but I think later on I'll feel it a little bit more once guys start looking up to me a little bit more. But yeah.
Well, Micah, coming over to you as another senior, a guy that's been through this program, talk about how the tribulations and the stuff that y'all played last year and an early round loss really stung hard. But you guys had a great year, and now you come back and you're continuing to roll. Talk about those challenges and how it shaped you, and how now as a senior leader that y'all can echo that to those younger guys that, hey, we've been through the fire. This is how it's done.
Yeah, like you said, we've been through the tribulations, and I just think that those people who were there last season and on the team, and we suffered that loss in the first round, like that's been a driving factor for a large majority of us, and we're working hard and we're ready to go far this year.
Awesome. Well, Caleb, you three guys kind of helped lead that team last year. You got some new guys in there this year. If you had to gauge the team chemistry, because that's always a big part, especially when you're talking about basketball, 5 guys on the court, you know, you're dealing with a bench that's got to come in and help you guys out. Chemistry helps. How do you feel like the chemistry in the locker room is right now for you guys?
Yeah, it's been great this year. We definitely started bonding a lot during the summer because we had open gyms and stuff like that. And we had a new freshman come in, and we've gotten to know him really well. And we got sophomore Blake Day, who kind of keeps us all together. And we have a lot of fun on the court and off the court.
Well, Coach Johnson, when coaches bring kids on here, there's usually a reason. And when you're looking at these three, they were your 3 leading scorers last year. They're your 3 leading scorers this year. But talk about what each one of these young men bring to your team, not just on the court, but off the court as well.
Well, you know, we'll start with the seniors. Start with Wyatt, since you went with him first. Just Wyatt's toughness. You know, Wyatt is a high basketball IQ. He's definitely up there as far as the best IQ in our program, right at the top somewhere. And so his toughness, his IQ, he's been a good leader, even when he hasn't been in the game, on the bench, encouraging guys. And so he's kind of turned the corner a little bit this year. Is a little bit different last year, but he's already made those strides. And you know, this year we've kind of went to a minute restriction for him, because he's the type of kid, when he's out on the court playing on both ends, he uses everything. And so not that other kids don't, but he uses everything. And so a lot of times you got to find, okay, how can we be successful with him not on the court? And so we treat him like, you know, NBA coaches treat, you know, some of their leaders. Will rest them at the end of the first quarter, the last 2 minutes, and rest him the first 2 minutes at the start of the second. So he gets about 8 to 10 minutes a game of rest. And that's allow him to play better, be a better player for us in our program. And he's been humbled with that, and he hasn't complained. He's taken on that role. And I know that can be challenging as a starter, but it's allowed us to be a better team, and it's allowed him, when he's in, allows him to be at his best. Over to Micah. You know, Micah, Micah's the kid that every coach, it's a dream to coach that kid. You just love having him on the team. He's kind of the glue that keeps things together. You know, he's the best player in the state that didn't receive All-State in Class 2A. You know, we had Wyatt that received All-State recognition, an honorable mention, and then we had Caleb as our Offensive Player of the Year in our district, and then the second team All-State kiddo. But Micah Fitch, that kid's motor is unreal. I haven't had a coached a kid that has had a motor like him in 15 years of doing this. And so he's we want him to be a little more aggressive, and we've had those conversations, and he is a very humble offensive player. Defensively, he wants to guard the best guard. He wants to get after it. He just wants to compete. And so I'm excited about him. I'm excited about his leadership. We've asked him to step up a little bit more vocally this year, and he's done that. He's done everything that we asked, and man, he's a joy to coach. He's fun to be around. Great off the court as well too. And so he's really a team guy that you really want to kind of build around too. And then Caleb, last but not least, Caleb is probably one of the hardest working players offensively that I've been around, and he's taken on more of a role defensively, as he's like, man, coach, I want to be the best defensive player in the district, and so Caleb is that kid that can go score 20, 30 any night. He was our leading scorer last year at 21 a game, 20 or 21 points a game. This year, his scoring numbers all have dropped a little bit, but it's only dropped because we needed him to step up in other areas. Like, he had 11 rebounds in the championship. Maybe I might be off a little bit, but I think he had 11 rebounds in the championship game on Saturday against the number one team in the state in Class 1A. And so that kid figured out his role, because he mentioned a freshman, Lyric White's a good freshman that we have. He can flat out go. Adding Lyric to the mix and Blake Day and these three guys here on this interview call, we've got 5 guys that realistically can score 20 any given night. And so there's only one basketball. And so I'm glad you mentioned, made that point about chemistry, because how do we share that as a group for the betterment of the group? And that might mean your numbers might suffer. And that's everybody in our program. But I've been more impressed with Caleb as far as rebounding, as far as trying to facilitate and defend. I would say last year, and I've told him this, and I'll tell the world, I would have said he was our 4th best defensive player. But I'll tell you right now, he's right at the top right now. He's just improved, but he's put in that work to improve. So these 3 guys, the words don't do justice about how I truly feel about them. But we talk about first to the floor, and these 3 guys, along with little Noah Fitch, who is our 6th man, those guys are first to the floor for 50-50 balls. And that's winning basketball. That's just the reality.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to slide over to you. I want to know, this may be a little off the court as well, but when you got a group of guys like this, who is the energy of the team? Who, let's say you're going along bus ride, is grabbing the aux cord, maybe blaring the music, getting everybody riled up? Who on the team would that be?
Who's that? Who's that to? Who are you asking?
I was asking why.
Oh, okay. What?
It's probably been me and Caleb, because we ride in the back of the bus, and that's where you can get the speaker going the loudest. And we're just back there fooling around and messing around, but it's fun.
Now, what kind of music are we listening to?
That one song that Coach Johnson likes, how does it go? The Country Over Yonder song. That's a good song.
Good answer. And so, well, Micah, I'm going to slide over to you. Coach talked about it, and Caleb mentioned it too, as well as the communication on the court. A lot of that goes into the chemistry. But how do you feel y'all's communication is right now? Is it something that needs to improve? Or is that an area that y'all really, even between you 3 guys, kind of have an unspoken bond of where you know where you're supposed to be? You've worked together so long that it's just kind of instinctual. Do you think your communication as a whole is really popping off right now?
Our communication is pretty solid. There's always room for growth, and every game it seems like Wyatt he's talking to us. He's like, "Hey, we got to talk more. We got to talk more. We need it. We need it because really it is a big key factor in the game of basketball, especially on the defensive end. So it's always room for growth."
Well, Caleb, I got to know, is there any between you three, maybe between all you guys on this team, is there any competition? I know it's all for the team, but I mean, dang, you guys, Wyatt and Micah, as of right now, leading the team in rebounds per games. I mean, Wyatt, you and Caleb, pretty close in assists. Y'all all score. Caleb, is there any competition like at the end of the night? Like, hey man, did you see them 20 points? Yeah, I got that. Is there any competition between you guys that way?
Yeah, there's been a little of that. I've especially been talking to Micah a lot about who has more steals per game since I've been trying to play some better defense, and then we're comparing our foul shots a little bit and stuff like that. But definitely in practice, we like to compete and get after each other and make each other better.
I mean, that's got to make it fun, right? That it's not boring. It's. I know y'all guys are tight, but that's got to be what makes it more exciting, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, I'm actually going to skip Coach real quick. We'll get back to Coach Johnson in a second. But Wyatt, I want to come to you as a senior, and I'll go over to Micah as well. But when you're in that role and you've got kids, and especially being in Ovilla where it's such a tight-knit group, you've got kids in junior high and younger that are looking at you guys, and I know that they're there going, you know what, I want to be Wyatt one day. I want to be Micah one day. What does it mean as a senior to be a light or to be an example for those little kids? And do you kind of feel that now as you're in your last year?
Yeah, I would say for me, it just means watch the way you act. You know, at any moment, people are watching you. It doesn't even have to be the littlest kids. It can be, you know, a freshman. Everyone's watching you. So it's helped me. I've struggled with language before, and it's helped me watch what I say, and it's helped me watch the way I act. But knowing that it does help me grow as a man of God, you know, just taking care of my decisions and being better. But it does help.
Boy, if you can pinpoint some of your struggles like that, that's a great sign of maturity. I'm sure Coach Johnson really, really enjoys that. Well, Micah, same kind of question over to you. Do you feel some of that, and it's not a pressure, but that responsibility as a senior to set a good role for those younger kids in those younger classes?
For sure, because I've been at Ovilla since I was in pre-K, so I've been in the role of the younger kids looking up at the older kids, and I still remember walking down the halls, man, I want to be like him, and those kids set a great example for me, and I'm just trying to live that way for them and hopefully be a light to the younger generation.
Awesome. Well, Caleb, I'm going to give you a chance, and I know you're a junior now, so you're in that upper echelon classification, but having played under Coach Johnson, what are maybe some things leadership-wise for the game of basketball, if you want to point them out, but more as a role model for your life that you've gotten from him, or maybe some things that you're going to take away past basketball from Coach Johnson?
From Coach Johnson, I've really learned like how to respond to mistakes and adversity. Like, so we have the 3-step policy at OCS just for like school and sports, which is like admit it, fix it, and then don't repeat it. So like I've made some mistakes in the classroom. I've made mistakes on the court and showed poor body language, and it's all just like how you respond to those mistakes. So he's taught me that a lot, and that's something I'm still working out today. But definitely trying to help like the younger kids in the school and other kids on my team learn that as well.
Well, Coach Johnson, I mean, listening to these three young men speak, and this, I'm sure it echoes into your program as a whole, but how does that make you feel when you hear them talk and they're talking about the responsibility and owning mistakes and pinpointing what they do wrong? That's got to show a maturity and a step, even past any athletics or basketball, that you are dealing with a very high class of young men right here.
Yeah, what's exciting, this is a process, and they all get it. And just kind of like you said, I mean, that's part of the maturation process. And so these three kids epitomize it in our entire program. I mean, they get it. You know, my son is a 6th grader up in the basketball program, and he's a gym rat. Basketball is his sport. And every day he's going home and he's talking about, man, I did this like Wyatt, I did this like Caleb or Micah. Did you see Micah lock that guy down? Did you see what Caleb did? Man. And so it's when I hear my son speak of that, you know, that even touches me just even more more than a coach, you know, because I'm a father to my children before I'm a coach, before I'm an AD, before I'm a principal. And so when I see him talk of these three guys, like he wants to be like them on the basketball court, like he wants to be like them. And you know what, speaking of Wyatt, Wyatt tonight in the middle school basketball game tonight is my son comes off the bench or comes out of the game and he's there, the first one to give him a water, you know? And so them saying that he's humbling himself where he could be in the stands, he's sitting on the bench and giving those guys water when they come off the court. And so that right there, he doesn't even realize, but that speaks volumes. And then, how they are with all three of my kiddos. I love these kids first as individuals, and the next basketball. Basketball is like the icing. And so I'm just excited and amped up for these guys. These are good dudes, really good dudes, and they're humble. And they'll sit up here and tell you, look, I made a mistake. I was wrong. They'll be the first one to tell me, Coach, I'm sorry about last night. I'm sorry I got frustrated. Or I'm going to get better. Or, whatever. That's just how they are. That's just who they are.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Coach Johnson, give us a rundown the next couple of weeks, games you guys got coming up and what the outlook is here before district starts up.
Yeah, man, it's tough. We're just coming off. Lucas was the top 10 team in the state and took care of them. And, we beat Christ Academy, was a top 5. We beat Kingdom, was a number 1 team in the state in 1A. I know that wasn't your question, but dog fights, 4 games in 5 days. And then coming up this week, we've got Fort Worth Cavalry, which we kind of feel like we got to be careful. That's a trap game. They're going to be in our district next year. Micah and Wyatt will miss them next year. Of course, Caleb will get them. But so this will be our seniors' last time playing them. They're 3A. We played them at home and we took care of business. But they're well coached and they're going to be ready to respond. So we got to get after them early and often. And then Thursday we've got Weatherford Christian. They're a top 5 team, top 6 or 7 team. They're right there at the top of the state in Class 2A. So they're tough. They're tough. We got to be ready for them. We got them at home at 5:15 on Thursday. So Fort Worth Cavalry tomorrow, 5:15 on Thursday. And then Friday, we've got Dallas Lake Hill coming to town, who's a pretty solid 3A program. That's, I don't think they're ranked, but they're kind of in a middle of the road program. So we got to be ready for those guys. And then we go to the Houston County tournament. That's probably one of the better small school tournaments behind the Tennis Hall tournament in East Texas. And you've got Ferris in it, Maypearl, Mahia, Grapeland, Crockett, China Springs, Groesbeck. And so you got 2A up to 5A. You got solid programs that I'm just excited about our guys going and competing. And that's the 28th through the 30th of December. 6 games in 3 days. I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited about these next few weeks. We are going to take a week off because our guys need to decompress and relax and spend time with family. So we'll be off the 18th until like the 27th. So they'll have some good family time to go, travel, whatever it is that they do, and then get ready. But you better believe these 3 guys will be in the gym somewhere, putting up shots or doing floor TV shots at the house, whatever. They'll be putting in work.
Awesome. Well, guys, Wyatt, Caleb, Micah, we appreciate y'all joining us, Coach, you as well, giving us a little peek behind the curtain to start this season off. Good things in y'all's future. We feel it. Got a good group of kids, Coach, but hopefully we can have y'all back on maybe after that tournament, giving us an update on how it goes right before district starts. But thank y'all again. Enjoy your evening, and we'll catch y'all later.
Well, hey, thank you for everything you do for these schools in Ellis County. We really appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
In Ellis County, you know where to go for the best pizzas and burgers.
Welcome to Doe City. How are you doing today?
A menu that allows you to have it just the way you like it. Great, friendly customer service. And all the toppings you can handle. So what do our customers say about Doe City?
We come up here all the time, so we love the pizza and the burgers also.
It's somewhere we can all come and have a good time with our friends and enjoy the good food that they have here. I love the fries.
And it's cooked to order, so you're always gonna get it fresh.
Doe City's always a great place to come and hang out with your friends.
Whether it's Tuesday or Friday night after a ball game in Ellis County, guess what? You can always make it over and have a little bit of delicious.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
So come in or order out at Doe City Pizza and Burgers in Red Oak, Texas. Well, guess what, Ellis County? Today, I was there, and what happened over at Heritage High School in Midlothian was pretty awesome. We had 4 players sign letters of commitment to play at the next level. 3 playing for golf, 1 for tennis, and those are Maddie Sanders signed University of Arkansas. Matter of fact, let's forget that. Maddie, we're going to start off with you, okay? And just go around the room. Say your name and which university you signed with today.
I'm Maddie Sanders, and I signed with the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith.
Hank?
I'm Hank Germany, and I signed for Midwestern State University.
Kodi?
I'm Kodi Nolan, and I signed for Midwestern State University.
And Jaelee?
I'm Jaelee Young, and I signed with Texas A&M Texarkana.
There we go. And Jaelee is our lone tennis player signed today, which is pretty awesome. But Maddie, we're going to start with you real quick, okay? When did you first learn to love the game of golf?
Probably in my much younger years before I could even remember it. But I started in younger camps with somebody that taught me to learn how to play golf named Bert. And he really taught me to love the game. And it really led to me loving the game.
Awesome. Well, Hank, who was that influential figure in your life that got you into golf?
Probably my grandpa. He would always play all the time, so I kind of got interested into it. So I started playing in 7th grade and quit every other sport since then.
Wow. Well, Kodi, what about you? Influential person or the moment that you knew that you loved the sport?
Well, my dad got me started playing in golf, and so I started playing, but I actually didn't start liking it until I started watching golf and watching professionals play and just seeing how much fun they had in it. And a figure that I have that really helped me motivate myself was Tiger Woods. I would always look up to him. So my dad got me into it, but I always looked up to professional players to be like them. So
that's pretty awesome. Well, Jaelee, who got that racket in your hand the first time?
Definitely my sister. We were just very competitive, and she started, so of course I copied her. And so she was always my biggest competitor.
Well, y'all, the 4 of y'all, I mean, it's like a list for Santa for good kids on toys and all the accomplishments y'all have left there at Heritage, individually, as teams, etc. Maddie, just started off with, as a senior, though, what does it mean to you to be a mentor, to be somebody that everybody looks up to? Because, freshmen come in, you got some of the younger kids from around town that come and watch y'all play occasionally, that are on the course, that have brothers and sisters and stuff. But they see y'all's clap outs, all those great things that are on social media that y'all are doing every year. What does that mean to you to be that kind of mentor to people out there?
It means a lot. I mean, just knowing that people are kind of watching you and younger people are watching you, just leads you to be a better person, and it just makes you watch your actions a little more.
Awesome. Well, and Hank, the guy side has had a lot of great golfers as well as the girls, but who was that person when you first came over to Heritage and started playing golf as, playing it as a high school player that really inspired you to want to refine your game even more?
Well, Coach Bennett's son, Braden, was on the team. He was a senior when I was a freshman, and I always thought he could hit it so far, and he was so good. So I just kind of wanted to just get better because I saw how fun it was when you were actually good at the game.
That's pretty awesome right there, man. Well, Kodi, what about you? Was there somebody that, as an underclassman, that you looked up to that maybe you stole some tricks from or took some tips from that maybe helped your game?
It wasn't an underclassman. It's definitely Maddie, because we've grown up playing golf since we were like 7. So we're totally like different players, but we've always like been really competitive with each other while like keeping a teammate type relationship. So we like benefit each other by seeing what differences we have. So like I pick up things she does, she picks up things I do, and we just like balance each other out. So
awesome. And Jaelee, on the tennis courts, I mean, what's it like for you to go from being a 9th grader now to leading a team, looking for that next time to state?
It's definitely a big difference because when I was a freshman, I was barely on varsity and I didn't get to play that much. But now, like, looking back and I'm like top on varsity, it's just a big difference. It's really
awesome.
cool to see.
Well, Kodi, what was your recruiting process like?
I started really early, and I sent out so many emails and like called so many coaches, and I really had to get used to like rejection because I got rejected like so many times from coaches. But I found Coach Ray and we like really hit it off, and I like went on a visit, and then I got another offer from another school. So I had to almost like negotiate with him. So the whole process was really smooth with him. And I think it was like that just because like that's where the place I need to be. So that's just what it was like.
Well, Maddie, when y'all were recruiting, did y'all not come in and say it's a package deal? The two of y'all? Or, but talk about that first phone call that you got or reply letter that somebody was interested you in playing collegiate sports.
It's definitely, it opened my eyes, and it was not expected at all. I just threw out a lot of emails like Kodi did, called some coaches hoping for answers. And it was just really shocking whenever I got that first response.
Well, and Hank, did you ever have a time where a recruiter came up to you on a course or anything like that? And how nerve-wracking would that be?
I actually, the first one that ever came up to me was at the graduate assistant at Midwestern State at the time. So that was kind of the first interaction I had with a coach, really. So he's not there anymore, but I got in touch with Coach Ray, and it was really smooth with him. He's a great coach and really liked what the program had to offer. So it was pretty easy after I got an offer from him.
Well, Jaelee, what about you on the recruiting process? Is tennis a little bit different, with UTRs and all that stuff?
UTRs do really matter until you sign. After you sign, it doesn't really matter anymore. But I was also shocked, like, about the colleges. I didn't think I was good enough to play. But then at the state tournament last year, like, I had 3 colleges look, and then it, like, changed the whole perspective of looking at it.
Awesome. Well, Kodi, going to swing it back down to you, okay? So what about Midwestern State? When you walked on the campus, was it your conversation with the coach, or was it more this campus feels like home? The people in the program feel like home. What was it about that made you meet?
I feel like it was like everything. It was kind of like overwhelming because I just knew it was like where I needed to be. Because when I got there, I had like a 2-hour conversation with Coach Ray. So that really hit it off. Like I really knew he was going to be my coach. And then we went to the golf course that they practice at. And I had not seen like a pure golf course than this golf course. Like I know that when I go there, like I'm going to practice there every day. And the campus just has like an indoor facility to play golf. So it has everything that I need. So, and the team has a great atmosphere. Like, I know I bond with all the girls that are on the team, so it'll just be a good experience.
Hank, what about you? I mean, y'all are both going to the same school. Was it the same thing? Was there some differences for you that made the difference, like, educational wise, et cetera?
I mean, I knew it was a good school already. I already knew some people that went there and already liked it. And then on the golf side, the coach is really great. We have a good connection with him. It was a really good setup for me. And the golf course is really challenging, but it's in really good shape all the time. So it was just couldn't find a better facility than that.
Okay. Well, Maddie, what about Arkansas, University of Arkansas, Fort Smith? What just did you, I mean, I know that area is a beautiful area to go to in the first place, but can you just talk about, walking on the campus the first time and saying, I have a chance to go here? Did that just feel right at that moment?
It did. Just walking along the campus with Coach Hayden and talking to him about the possible opportunity I had to play there was just a great opportunity. I couldn't pass it up. And then going to the course they practice to, I'm a person that loves to practice putting. And it's just, I really love their course and their greens, and it just all fit perfectly.
That's awesome. Well, Jaelee, what interested you the most about your university?
I thought it was really cool that it's like almost brand new. They're like rebuilding parts of it, and it has like a lake kind of on it, and it's really pretty to just walk around and see everything. And their tennis courts are nice, and I met some people from the team, and they're really nice. They're very
Awesome.
welcoming.
Well, and today, y'all had a signing activity at the school. A lot of people don't really follow, y'all don't have people on the course with you all the time. You don't have people at tennis matches. You kind of rely on your own team there at high school a lot. How did it feel today with so many people, hanging over the balcony and, wishing y'all well, and some of the people coming in later on and wish you well? What about you, Jaelee? How did that make you feel today?
It was very welcoming. I'm glad I have supporters and people to help me through like all of this opportunity that I have.
Hank, you had a pretty good family there today. How'd that go for y'all?
It was really fun. Just kind of people don't really talk too much about golf, so it was kind of cool seeing everybody support it.
Awesome. What about you, Kodi?
It was really great. Like, I loved having my family there because like they have put so much money and time into like pushing me to do better and like keep up like working on golf. So just the satisfaction of seeing like people support it and knowing my family is like watching me take this somewhere that they've like really helped me get to is just, it was a good feeling. So.
Well, Maddie, what about you?
It was really cool. I mean, just seeing all the people that I've grown up with support me was really a great experience.
Awesome. Well, I've got one last thing for y'all tonight. And, you'll never forget your high school years, especially in small town Texas. But, Jaelee, we're going to start with you. Okay. What does it mean to you to be a Jaguar and have left the mark? I know both of y'all's squads have more to go this year, but as of right now, what does it really mean to you to have been a Jaguar and to leave the kind of marks that y'all have on y'all's programs independently? Jaelee?
I think it's really cool because I know like other people that have left their mark and like I still remember them and they haven't been there in years. So I think it's really cool that I like might get the chance to have that same impact on everybody.
Okay. Hank?
Coach Bennett has a board outside of his office, and every time you shoot even par or better, or you win a tournament, you get your name on the board. So it's pretty cool seeing my name getting put up there more and more. So when the next class comes in and everybody else will see it on there, and it's just a good feeling.
Maddie?
Like Hank, seeing my name on the board is definitely has an impact, and it's very cool to think that future Jaguars will be able to see previous Jaguars on the board.
Awesome. What about you, Kodi?
I think like what they're saying, we have a board and like you put all of your best scores on there, like win stuff. But I think it's really good for like what me and Maddie have done. on the board because there's a like trend of girls golf increasing, like people playing in it, and it's just something that's been building up over the years. And so future Jaguars who are girls, like they see what other girls have done, like me and Maddie, and they're like I want to do that. I want to go play golf. So it's good, like supporting the game for girls that might play for Heritage.
That's pretty awesome. Well, folks, keep your eyes on these 4 young players as they go out and play collegiate sports. Who knows? One day you might see them on Sunday putting on a green or at Wimbledon winning a match. You never know what's going to go on. Wish y'all the best of luck in your collegiate careers and the rest of this upcoming season as y'all face the second halves of it. Best of luck to you, and thank y'all so much for coming on.
In Ellis County, we're always on the run. It's always good to know that someone's always there. Doesn't matter the time of day. With ATM Live, hours are always available. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always pull right up and talk to someone live for that personal service. Or stop by and visit with the friendly folks inside. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
To belong begins here, among the few, the proud, the Marines.
hungry for the best burgers, fries, and pizza in Ellis County, well, stop by Doe City Pizza and Burgers, where the ingredients are fresh every day and stacked up just the way you like them. Custom seasoned fries,
and burgers right off the grill on in-house fresh homemade buns. So head on down to Dough City Pizza and Burgers, where everything there is delicious. Dough City Pizza and Burgers is located in Red Oak, Texas, right across from Red Oak High School. Make sure you come down and have the best burgers and service in Ellis County.
Would like to welcome in the live Waxahachie men's basketball program. We've got Coach Berman, we've got Coach Dobson, and we've got Drake Heads joining us, the senior guard. Really, senior plays all around the court. But we appreciate y'all taking time out of your evening to join us. We appreciate it, and hopefully we'll make this quick for you. But Coach Berman, I'll come over here to you first. You come off a year where you guys, 17-8, 8-4 in district in that third spot, but a successful year. You've got a mixture of a good group of seniors and quite a bit of underclassmen. And you kind of have that same reflection this year in your numbers. Talk about how last year ended and then this off season now transitioning into this new season, starting 10-3. How do you think things are going?
Last year, I think it was a tough pill to swallow. But it was good in the aspect of changing regions. Again, this is our third region and 3 realignments. And your first draw is the DISD schools, and they swept us last year. And so, there shouldn't be any lack of motivation during the off season, unless you want to repeat, do the same thing you've always done. You're going to get the same results. These kids have done a good job of all summer long coming to open gyms, competing, fall open gyms. They were in 3 tournaments of different Great American Shootouts, I think 2 of those guys. So we've had the commitment, and so we're looking to improve on last year and the results. The second half of the schedule is going to be a lot tougher, especially including district. So the 10-3 is nice, but it becomes irrelevant once district starts. Everybody's back 0-0. We have 2 5A teams coming this week and a Ferris tournament with really good competition. So I think we're going to have a better indicator of where we're at. We've had some guys injured at the same time, so we're still not sure yet where all the pieces are going to fit in. But we try to get the kids to buy into outworking our opponents every day.
Coach Dobson, I'll come over to you. We finally get a year of return to tournaments. I know last year was a little weird coming off that COVID season, but you're getting these extra games in before district plays, and you guys have done a good job, I think, of mixing. Some people go really light on their preseason schedule. Some people go really heavy. Like you said, you got Everman Poteet this week in 5A, but y'all seem to have done a great mix of getting a real marker for talent and then getting those guys some confidence. How good does it feel to get back in that tournament atmosphere and then getting those tough games early in the season preparing for district?
Tournaments are a lot of fun. It's always fun to miss school. No, I'm just kidding. But I think it's good. It gets the kids it's a bonding time for the kids, and then we get to play teams that we don't usually get to play. I think, really what I think of a lot of times is really just building the relationships, riding the bus to the tournaments, playing a couple games together. You really get really close. And then we go to Paris this year, and that's a time for hopefully that we start clicking, really clicking. But, playing in those tournaments is a lot of fun. The more experience that these guys can get and the better teams that they can play, the better in the long run it'll be for us. So.
Now, Drake, you're a senior this year. Talk about how, and I know you played a major role last year as well, but now you have that senior status. Talk about the difference coming in now, the responsibility that you feel as one of the leaders on the team to not only set the pace for you, but to set an example for those younger kids. How do you feel that senior responsibility has fallen on you so far?
So far, I feel like I've done a decent job. I feel like I can always do better. There's something I can always improve on. it's coming from off the court or on the court. On the court, I can be more boisterous, help the younger guys, develop them. And off the court, I can just carry myself like a certain way. Biggest rules we have is like no hoodies, no AirPods, no phones out. I set a good example by doing that, I feel. So, yeah.
Awesome. Coach Berman, I'll give you a chance to speak on this young man. There's a reason that coaches bring on these certain individuals. And I'm sure there's something about this young man that really illustrates the building and reflects your program. Talk to us a little bit about Drake and what he means to the Mustangs.
Well, we love Drake. He came in as an 8th grader, coming to open gyms during the last part of the 8th grade, his spring. A lot of the kids come in think that we're hard on them and we pick on them, but if we see that there's greatness in them, and even the ones we don't, we're going to hold accountable and we're going to push them to try to get the most we can out of them. Drake was on varsity as a freshman. Sophomore year, he was in that the team that lost in the regional championship. And so he knows exactly what it's like and how it's going to be. And he soaked up a lot when he was in the younger years as a sponge and learned from our older guys. And now it's on him, and we wouldn't really rather have anybody else but Drake. We trust him. He's a great kid off the court. He's a great big brother. You'll see his little brother during maybe in the middle of a halftime or maybe even during warm-ups. They'll come out there and run with the guys. But Drake's everything we ask for in a student athlete. Dual credit classes, great family, great kid, and that's what we're most proud of.
Coach Dobson, I'm going to slide over to you, and now I'm going to assume you're a young guy because you look pretty young. And so,
yeah.
But one thing I want to touch. Do what?
Thanks a lot.
Well, you look young too, but I was saying he looks younger than I am, and I consider myself young at 28. I don't know how old you are, but
just barely 27.
There you go. So, but one thing that I know Coach talked about with Drake, he came on the radar as an 8th grader and immediately made an impact as a freshman. As an assistant coach, I know you guys have responsibilities. And part of that is probably trickling down to making sure with Coach Berman that your junior high system and the kids that you're going to get are moving in the direction basically that you want them to go before you ever put your hands on them. How crucial is that of setting up those younger guys for success that makes your program run smoother rather than just, we'll get them when they get up here to high school?
No, that's super important. And when you think of a program, you really have to think of 7th grade, starting it there. And, even we do camps all the way down to like kindergarten. So, the sooner that you can get the kids that go to, our school or our schools doing the things that we do at the high school, the better it is in the long run. And then, more importantly, getting down there and teaching them our, like the characteristics we want, how we want them to act and how we want them to act in the classroom and how important education is. Really building it from 7th grade to the varsity is really important. I know I always do the junior high tryouts. So I'm there, I'm helping, we're running through everything. And then coach goes down to the middle school almost every day to run them through drills and stuff like that. So it's extremely important. And a lot of the best kids that we get on and off the court are kids that we've had since 7th and 8th grade. We always think back to that regional final team that played against Yates. I think 5 of the 6, 7 of them, they played together since 7th grade. So, that's what you really look for. But yeah, it's very crucial getting it started when they're young.
Now, Drake, coming to you now. Now, normally I have a partner. His name's Tater Beard. He's not on here with us right now, but one of his favorite questions to ask seniors, and I'm going to ask it for him to you, is as a senior, there's a lot of, and you Coach touched on that you got a little brother. There are a lot of young kids that look at you and say, hey, I want to be that guy someday. I want to be Drake on the court someday. Believe it or not, You know, you might think as a high school that doesn't happen, but there are a lot of little kids that look up to you. How do you shoulder that? Do you accept that? Does that even come into your mind of being a leader and a star for those kids that are coming up, even elementary school, junior high?
Yeah, in a way, you know, since I do have a younger brother, I have to hold myself a certain way. I have to be presentable. I'm basically like teaching him how to be a young man. And so when it comes to that aspect, yes, on the court, not so much. I just try to go out there and play and hold myself to the highest standard every night. So
Nice. Good answer. Coach Berman, give you a chance here to I know we got Coach Dobson here, but just your staff as a whole, how important is it to have these great assistant coaches that help drive the program, that have the energy to match you? What does that mean to you, your development of the program and the direction you like to go?
It's huge. I've been blessed in that aspect since I've gotten here at Life Waxahachie, with the coaches that we've worked together, have been bought into the program. You know, it hurts when we lose, and it hurts everybody because they put so much into it. You know, it's the blood, sweat, and tears have been through every coach we've had come through the program, and it means the world to you as the head coach. You know, I might be the head coach in name, but in responsibilities and duties and the love they put into these kids and the hard work, and you know, there's not going to be one guy who has more than another, and that's what makes it a special group. And the special groups that we've had is because everyone loves the kids, cares about the kids, and everyone's equally bought in. So I'm blessed with that aspect of it, 100%.
Awesome. Well, Coach Dobson, I guess, and the next question is to you. What's it been like to learn and to coach under Coach Berman, and how has that helped further your career?
It's been great. You know, I don't want to say how long, but I've known Coach for a really, really long time. I used to go to basketball camp when I was little in Cedar Hill. So I've known Coach forever, and always someone you've looked up to who did things the right way. And, you know, you never hear a bad thing about Coach. And, man, Coach loves basketball. He loves the win, but he loves kids. He loves the players. And I think that's honestly the most important thing, because, you know, at the end of the day, the winning is fun, the basketball's fun, but building up young people is why we do it. You know, we don't do it for the money. So, you know, we're doing it because we're trying to make these, you know, young men into men, and teach them how to live the right way and do the right things. So he does a great example on and off the court of leading us. So yeah, you know, great leader, and just a great person to look to and to learn from.
And I think, you know, one of the reasons for all coaches is, you know, we had someone like that in our lives growing up. I lived across the street from a junior high, and there was a coach across that took me in. He, you know, I had older sisters, and he took me in, and, you know, I wanted to do the same thing for kids that he did for me. And that's what, you know, it's what you hope you can do, and, you know, be a great example for these kids. And hopefully, you know, it's just like it's just with your same children, you can lead them the right way, and you pray that they follow when they're on their own, and, you know, it's their decision.
Well, Drake, I'm going to slide over to you. Talk about the team chemistry on the court. How do you feel it is as compared to seasons past? How close knit is this group of guys? And then I want to hear some positives of y'all's play right now. What are maybe some things that you feel like this group is really excelling at? And maybe what are a couple of areas from a player's standpoint that you look to improve?
I'd say our team we have a lot to work on when it comes to chemistry. I feel we're not as like tightly knit as we were when we went to regionals, but we're working on that every day. And like these tournaments, like they said, they're helping. Spending the night at Ferris, that's definitely going to be a big factor, I feel. When it comes to our game, I feel like we're a smaller team, so I feel like speed, that's us. We get the ball out and we go. and with speed, we like to shoot the ball. You know, we're not always hitting, but when we do, we're real effective. And what was your last question?
What are some things maybe you want to see improved on?
Oh, well, shooting, obviously, and defense. And like I said, we're a smaller team, so we gotta, you know, hit the boards a little harder. We gotta box out, you know, get the ball and go, basically.
Coach Berman, coming to you as you do guys make your way towards district, which I think is what, next Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
So what are the things, I know Drake from a player's perspective, but as the coach, when you're overseeing it, what are some things that you're wanting cleaned up before that district game against Hillsborough as y'all go through now, Everett Poteet in this final Paris tournament before district starts up?
I agree with what Drake said. There's a lot of things, a lot of little things that we need to improve, that we need to fix. We have a lot of respect for all the teams in our district and all the coaches in our district. They're gonna put the time in. They're gonna know everything we do. We're gonna know everything they do, and then it's about, you know, being able to execute, even though they know what we're doing. The great equalizer for us is defense. I think our defense needs to improve. It's getting better each game. It's getting better each week. But we still think there's another level that we can get, that we need to get to team, especially team defense. Not just individual defense, but our team defense. And we're just like Drake said, we're showing flashes, and we're trying to get to the point where it's not flashes anymore, where it's 32 minutes. And like we talked about, the tournaments will help a lot. As we get people back off the injury list and some guys get moved back down to JV or move up, then, you know, it's just hopefully come together at the right times. And once district starts, you know, there's a less window of what's the word I want to say?
Less room for error.
Yes, less room for error.
Awesome. Well, Drake, coming to you.
Coaches right there.
Drake, coming to you to finish up here. This is always a Tater favorite, so I got to throw this one in as well. Since y'all are getting to go to tournaments, you're going to get to stay overnight. You're traveling on buses, and as a team, that's some of the funnest times you can have, unless you're driving home after a loss. But other than that, you get to get on the bus, crank the music. Who on the team is the one on the back of the bus getting everybody rowdy, blaring the speaker after a win, just carrying on? Who is that for y'all's team?
It's gonna be good right here.
I gotta shout out my point guard, RJ Hopes. He's one of our energy guys. He's one of our biggest music lovers. He has a saying, what is it, getting zesty or something like that. Like, he's our guy when it goes to like turning up, getting ready for the game, getting pumped.
Did he miss anybody, Coach Dobson, or is that pretty spot on?
Well, usually on the way home, we control the music. So, but which I know they love. But I know pregame in the locker room, they get to have their time.
Yeah.
Drake, what kind of music we talking about on the way home?
A lot of country.
Okay.
A lot of country.
There's been some country music lately and some K-Love. We put some K-Love on them on the
K-Love
point this weekend.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all taking time and letting us dive in and kind of peek behind the curtain at the start of this season. I know y'all got a tough ones this weekend and then district starting up. So we wish y'all the best of luck. And then hopefully in a few weeks, we can have you guys back on if you're willing and kind of give us an update on how things are going. But I appreciate it again, and y'all have a good evening.
We appreciate you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
In Ellis County, we're always on the run. It's always good to know that someone's always there. Doesn't matter the time of day. With ATM Live, hours are always available. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always pull right up and talk to someone live for that personal service. Or stop by and visit with the friendly folks inside. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, Ellis County, guess what? We got Maddie Hodges, Midlothian wrestler out here. Maddie in the last two tournaments said she got second at the Spartan Tournament of Champions. Boom, 3. She's been going on the weight classes, but last year she should have been in the state tournament. If it wasn't for COVID, she would have been. Maddie, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I threw her off for a curveball there, folks. But, hey, Maddie, let's just talk about it, okay? You know, Midlothian has a program there for about 6 years now. So what does it feel like to be that I mean, you had faith in them a couple of years ago, but you've been standing on the podium quite a bit. How does it feel to be that person that's taking the wrestling program from a female perspective to that next level?
It feels really, I feel really good about it because it's just, I'm starting a new thing right now. Like I'm just basically going forward. I just feel really good about it.
Well, what are some of those things that you might have learned from somebody like a Faith Bostwick or something on how to handle the pressure and stuff over the years?
I just have to worry about not to worry about really anything. Just focus on what's going on and just go forward pretty much and what I'm trying to do.
Awesome. Well, and you've got a person on your team. Her name is Eve Smith. Eve's doing pretty good this year. Just talk about her and y'all's bond as the sole 2 female wrestlers over at MHS.
Ever since she has been on this team, we've been working together and everything, and she's getting really better. She is like a sister to me. She's like the best teammate I can ever possibly have.
Awesome.
The best.
Well, you know, most folks, y'all may not know this, but Maddie's brother, we ain't going to talk about him too much. We're just going to bring this up, okay? His name's Marshall. He's kind of a little guy. He won a state championship last year in something called wrestling. But talk about what it means to you. You know, you should have qualified last year. We all know that, okay? At the rate you're going right now, you're going to be qualified ASAP this year. So, and I know you're talking about different weights and stuff like that, and we'll get into that in just a moment, but what is it going to mean for you to go in on your junior season and have a legitimate shot of making that podium at the end of the year?
It means to me that it means to me more than ever to be on that podium because I am working my butt off for it. And I really want to be on there. I really do. And be a state champion. Well, that's my legitimate goal.
And Maddie, you know, most people don't know this about you. They think of wrestler. Maddie is also on the cheer team, on the varsity cheer team in MHS. Well, Maddie, talk about how cheer might be able to help you out in wrestling.
Flexibility. You always have to have flexibility in wrestling because you are doing all these different moves on people and you always have to get out of these certain moves. So you would always have to like stretch your back, arch your back, or you would have to like move your neck somehow or something like that, or like move your arm a certain way. You always have to be very flexible. And that's what really helped me.
And one of the big things I think that wrestling is really unique in is if somebody grabs you here versus here, which is only about an inch over, that can make a huge difference in a mat. How do you stay so focused on the details?
When someone does that to me, I just stop right there. I just think, hold on, I know what she's doing. I just have to think what I'm going to do on what move I can pull on and what I can make sure what I need to do so I don't get into that situation.
Well, and a lot of people think wrestling is mainly strength. And I think that's a fallacy, to be honest with you. You know, you just mix in flexibility. But how much does endurance play into a wrestling match?
Endurance plays a lot into a wrestling match because you have to be quick on your feet and have the cardio to stay in the whole entire match, even if you go over overtime.
Well, which is tougher, just the endurance level and the physical body part, or is it the mental part? I mean, when you've got somebody on top of you, or you're on top of somebody, exerting your full weight on them and just trying to put their head in the mat to exhaust them out, how mentally tiring is that to stay pressure on for that entire 2 minutes?
It is mentally challenging because I had to really work on that to toughen up my mentality, because usually during my wrestling matches, if I was losing or if I was just tied up with some girl and I was getting really tired, I would say, oh my gosh, this girl is so good, I'm about to lose and everything. And that used to be me a few years ago when I first started. And it's kind of happening right now, but I'm not letting this happen to me this year at all. And now I'm learning through and I'm toughening up. Like, I'm getting way better in my mentality wise. And I do think mentality in wrestling is harder. I do think.
Well, and not all the time can you just continue to wrestle Eve. Both y'all wrestling each other all the time. But I know y'all wrestle some of the guys. How does that impact when, and I heard, you kind of take care of Cole, but we're not going to mention Cole's last name. But how does that help y'all going against guys that have bigger, muscle mass, et cetera?
It mainly helps with strength also, because guys have a lot more weight to them and you can get more strength out of that. But also you can also learn more moves from them because they have more of technical moves that they learn than other girls. Because mainly for girls, as long as I've been wrestling, we just like either throw people or we do some other moves than what guys do. But that's mainly it. I mean, we just learn a lot of moves from other guys, and that's what we do to put that in to our wrestling matches.
So, Maddie, what is that go-to move that you go to finish your opponents off?
Blast doubles.
Blast doubles.
Yes.
Okay, folks, for a blast double, what she's talking about is she'll put her head down, drive into them, and then dive at the legs and pull at the same time. Am I correct?
Yes, you are
okay,
correct.
Now talk about just exertion, the energy to pull that move off, because you got to be pressing hard against them.
Oh, yes. It's mainly I mainly usually have to move them around a bit and make sure that they're getting really close to me for me to do it. And that is when I just take the shot really fast and I just push my head right into their stomach as hard as I can until they fall right on their back.
Well, do we expect to see you do a Granby roll this year?
I'm working on it this year. I am working on it. I am going to be working on it during practices right now. And I might do it. I might not do it. It just depends.
Well, and, there's all these different moves. And, one of the things is I just don't think people, and maybe you can explain it to them, you don't realize how heavy you're all at the same weight class.
Yes.
Okay. So, but 143 pounds or 138 pounds on top of another person that's that same weight. What is that like when you're fighting just to stay on, stay on the mat, to break the clock out, to last those 5 extra seconds till you can get back up and reset?
It can be harder. It can be harder or easier. It just depends on how much quickness you have or how much. It matters how much quickness you have, all in all.
Okay. And who is that person right now that's really in your corner, that's, there for you day in, day out, helping you reach these goals?
It would be mainly some of the guys on the wrestling team, and coaches also helping me with my goals to get to learn more moves and try to just get those moves right so I can pin these girls and get on that podium and everything.
Well, let's switch gears for 5 seconds here. You're part of a cheer team that's also just got a national bid. How excited were you for the team and everything about all that?
Oh, I was very excited for them. I knew they could do it. I knew that they were heading right there. I just knew for a fact. I was just very proud of them. I was jumping up and down for them. I was like, yes, guys, yes, yes. And I just was very proud of them.
Well, are you going to be able to go, or is that going to interfere with some of your wrestling? I know some of those things mix up.
I will not be able to go because I believe I have either a wrestling tournament during that week, like Sci Fair, or it's either Sci Fair or the Grand Prairie Duels.
Well, and that's one of the things I wanted to bring up too was Sci Fair. Can you explain to everybody what that Sci Fair? I know you've been down there a couple of times. What is that Sci Fair? Huh?
It's actually going to be my first year to be at Sci Fair.
But competing.
Yes.
But you've been down there before.
I have, yes.
Okay. Can you explain the wrestling environment down at Sci Fair, which this is your first year to be able to compete in?
Mm-hmm. So basically, it's a bunch of 5A and 6A people together, all in one. And it's like a 60 something man bracket. It is very huge. And when you're in there in that environment, it's very, it's just, there's so much people there. And in each weight classes, there's like 70 people in each weight class, and you see them, you're like, oh God, this is what I have to do and everything. That's what I got to do.
From my understanding, it's one gym with one mat per weight class in the gym. Is that incorrect?
I think so. I'm not sure how they're going to do it this year.
Okay.
Because I think there's usually like 6 mats, probably.
Well, what is one of the things that, you're a junior this year, going to be a senior next year. What is one of the things that you want to leave as your mark on the program as a wrestler and representing the ladies in wrestling?
Being the first state champion for the female wrestling. I want to be the first female state champion.
And also, go ahead.
Oh, and I also want me and Eve to really either be state champions up in the podium. And that's what me and Eve should be doing. Be state champions. That's my goal. And
awesome.
Yes.
Well, okay. So one of the things is you're a cheerleader, but you're a wrestler. You're a lot more than those two things. Sorry about that. But, most people say, well, Maddie's a wrestler, Maddie's a cheerleader when they're talking about an athletic execution. My question to you is, what would you say to all those young girls out there that look at wrestling and go, that's too boy, whatever. Okay. What would you say to them to inspire them to become a wrestler in high school?
Anybody can do wrestling. Anybody can. It's just, you got to put your mind to it. Just try it out and see how it goes for you. Cause it's not all that bad. It's not all that bad like a guy's like sport and everything. It's more like, it's just you got to put your mind to it and just try it, and just don't think it's like a boy sport or something like that. Because I never thought it like that. I never did.
Awesome. Well, folks, get ready because the season's kind of young right now, and Maddie's been tearing it up. I think the lowest she's placed all season is 3rd. And the young lady's had a little bit of an injury on her arm and been wrestling with the brace as well this year. And Maddie at DownHome Sports, we're just super proud of you. Can't wait to see how far you and the rest of the Panthers can take it as the Panthers look to add more state champions onto that number 5 right now. So, Maddie, we hope we wish you the best.
In Ellis County, we're always on the run. It's always good to know that someone's always there. Doesn't matter the time of day. With ATM Live, hours are always available. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always pull right up and talk to someone live for that personal service. Or stop by and visit with the friendly folks inside. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
Well, hey, Ellis County, guess what? We got Ferris soccer on with us. We got Coach Jesus Hernandez. Team last year, before we get into the ladies, Coach, we're going to go over this record real quick. 16-6-3 overall, 8-4-2 in district. Made the playoffs, ran into a tough Slye team. Pretty darn good season. But this year, you got these captains here, senior captains, Diana Bell, Janet, I want to make sure I say this right, Oseguero. Now come close. Huh?
Segura.
Segura?
Yeah.
Okay. Janet Segura and Elizabeth Guzman. And Coach, you know, that record right there, not a bad record on the season last year. What were some of the things that you think the team took out of last season that they'll be able to apply this year?
So this is actually my first year as head coach here. So I think I didn't get to spend too much time with them last year, but I know they all stepped up when they needed to. I mean, I think Janet and Liz both have been playing varsity for a couple of years now, so they know the intensity, they have the experience. And Diana picked it up so fast. She became such a key player for them last year that I think just all the experience that they had, having a positive record also really helped them. And I think it's going to help us this season too, especially with, the 4 captains. One of them's at a band concert right now, but we do have 4 senior captains, but we have a total of 10 seniors. So that's more than half the team. I think just coming in with all that experience is going to benefit us for sure.
Well, and we don't want to forget Jackie Lopez, the other senior captain that's not here tonight. Wish her well at her band concert. That's always an important thing. But let's go with Elizabeth first. Elizabeth, playing that right back, playing on the back side of the ball on the right-hand side, you're going to get a lot of balls coming your way on pressure. What's one of the things that you're learning this year that might help you stop them making it into your all zone?
Well, first, it's more of a mental thing. Of course, we practice our own practices, like on the field. We do our scrimmages, and our JV does do a good job on getting the ball and like getting past us. But it's mostly a mental thing. I tell myself I can't let them get past me, because then if it goes through me, it's gonna go on defense. And it's just like it goes from the top back to the middle, back to the bottom. So it's just a team effort. But like I said, it's a mental thing. If I mess up, I know my defense has my back. But if the defense has my back, if defense messes up, then I will go back there and help them as well. So if it's just, we all work as a team. So if they get past me, I know someone else will get it for me.
Well, Diana, when y'all are talking about a team effort here, how much of that is communication and y'all getting all on the same page?
It's a really big part, because without that communication, you can't really, like, you don't know who to pass the ball to, for example, because you're not communicating with them. So I think that communication is a big part in that team effort and making sure that it's there.
Well, awesome. And Janet, one of the questions I've got for y'all is, y'all have gone through COVID for 2 years. So technically on the buses, we were supposed to stay separated. We're not supposed to be having team dinners. We got all these things that in women's athletics are the norm, right? Having those team dinners, having that bonding time on the bus and everything like that. As a senior, how grateful are you that we're back to basically a norm and being able to have those times together, to have that bonding, especially with the group with 10 seniors?
I think it's actually very important, because I feel like if we get together along outside of the field, then we'll get like better in the field. And like last year, I didn't get to go to the playoff game because I had COVID. So it really does change a big fact. And I'm grateful that this year is normal and that I get to be with my team.
Awesome. And Coach, I know you are just getting started up in your season right now. Probably had your first scrimmage the other day, somewhere in there. So talk about the early season. We always talk about high school seasons, and I've always broken them down into 3 parts, right? You got the preseason tournament time for soccer, then you got your district playoffs, and then you start going into the playoff run, if you're fortunate enough. Talk about how this preseason setup in these tournaments are going to prepare this team this year for a good district run?
I think it's gonna set us up just so we can find our identity, because we have a good idea of what team we want to be. We just have to perfect it and master, what we want to do on the field. I think just having all those reps, we are in 2 tournaments this year, and just having all those reps between those tournaments and all the pre-district games, I think is going to be very important, so we can figure out who we are, what we want to do on the field, as well as, okay, well, this player goes down or this player, is out, who's going to step in. So I think just finding the holes, filling the gaps, as well as finding out who we are.
Awesome. Well, just talk about that culture, that winning culture that is starting to permeate all the way through the Ferris programs.
So, of course, everybody knows we are a small town, which means we all do get along quite. Like we talk a lot, we bond a lot, we see each other at school a lot, and then especially with the small school, when you win, it's a big deal. Everybody congratulates you, everybody wins, everybody celebrates with you. But recently, like our volleyball team, they went to the playoffs. The whole school congratulated them. We walked down the hallway, we all clapped for them, the band clapped for them. And we expect the same thing with soccer and basketball and every other sport, because it's not just an individual program. It's like the whole school program. It's a whole town program. So if one person succeeds, then the whole town succeeds. And that's just the culture of Ferris.
Hey, that's pretty good, though. Sounds like a small college, to be honest with you. Not a small town. Well, Diana, talk about that brick town mentality.
I think it means becoming better, having that mentality to become better, and to do it for our town, for our teams, for our schools.
Awesome. Well, Miss Segeta, because I want to say your name right one time tonight without it being prompted. Okay, so I want to find out right now. Okay, predictions. One of my favorite questions is, who's going to be on that bus? Who's the girl that's going to have the aux cord, playing songs that coach has never heard before, talking people into TikToks and everything else on these bus drives?
It's definitely going to be Elizabeth, and she knows, she knows it.
So what about that really gets y'all fired up? I mean, do y'all have some other stuff that y'all do, Janet, to get fired up before the game?
I think that's really much it. Hearing music and just bonding together on the bus before, or even if it's a home game. I guess overall, our whole team has that connection, and we all trust each other and get along with each other well. And I feel like that's a big part. And I mean, yeah.
Okay. Well, Coach, you're bringing in a little bit of a new philosophy this year. Basically, playing a lot of angles into a triangle formation, a little touch and go, get your head up. And what do you think that will enable based on the skills you've seen from the girls so far? Will it be more of an attack offense? What provides some better angles for the girls to get shots off, et cetera?
I think the style that we're going for this year is going to just be about creating chances. I mean, that's all soccer is. You got to create the most chances and, put the ball in the back of the net. I think just making it as simple as possible, which, yeah, you're right about creating the triangles, just knowing you have an option no matter what side of the field you're on. Also, it will be, it's both. It's a mix of very offensive as well as very defensive, because we shift formations. We don't just stay in one formation. We have multiple formations. We go depending where the ball is, depending whether we're attacking, defending, whether we're in the midfield. It's just, helping us,
Right. That makes sense, man. Totally makes sense. Well, Elizabeth, being a senior, you mentioned being in a small town. And in small town Texas in sports, every little kid comes out to the games. The fact that you're in high school, you're a superstar because you get to stay up until 9:00. That's the way it normally is, But when you play high school sports, you're even more of a superstar. How important is it to you to leave a legacy and be a mentor to these young ladies out there that are going, I want to be Elizabeth. I want to be Janet. I want to be Diana. How important is that to you to talk to these girls and encourage them?
It's actually very heartwarming. At our last scrimmage against Brownsboro, I actually had a throw in play, and then in the back, I couldn't look at the stands because I was busy playing. But I heard a little kid say, I think it was my nephew, but he was like, "Lise," like he was trying to get my attention, and like it was just so cute, and it's honestly very like it warms your heart hearing kids and like younger people go into the games and help see you play, because like it means like they're supporting you and they're actually like wanting to see you succeed. And if I leave that legacy, then they're going to grow up to do the exact same thing, and then they're going to realize how important it was that they were there when I was there playing. Like they're going to want to see kids watching them play like how they played, watch me play, and it's just very important. But it's just an amazing thing to witness.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's heartwarming to me to see them do that as well. Diana, being a senior team, what do you think the seniors are going to leave as a legacy on Ferris soccer this year?
I think we're going to leave that legacy of being better, or setting like the standards for the next year's team. Like this year's going to be different, and we're setting that example starting now, and it's going to end up carrying on until the next year, hopefully. So
okay. And Janet, can you explain to everybody out there what it means to be a Yellow Jacket?
What it means to be a Yellow Jacket. I feel like being a Yellow Jacket takes a lot, because balancing your education with your athletics is really like difficult. But at the same time, I feel like that's what makes you a Yellow Jacket, especially in the athletic program, because it's a big part. And I mean, having pride and being like respectful to everyone, and overall like having a good attitude. And I think that's what being a Yellow Jacket is.
Well, that sounds pretty darn good right there to me. Well, Coach, when me and you talked, one of the big things that you told me is your senior class is pretty much the top 25% of the school, which is an amazing stat in and of itself. Just talk about, there's a reason why these ladies are captains. There's a reason why you brought them on tonight. Can you just say a little bit of something about each one of the ladies? And let's go ahead. Let's put Jackie in there as well, because she wasn't able to make it with us. But because there's got to be something that I can already see that's very special about each one of them that are here tonight.
Screen. Janet's up top. So for Janet,
that's fine.
My first year here was 2 years ago, and Janet was a sophomore. And I'm terrible with names, but she was the one name I remembered just because of her personality, how she was just like outgoing. She, loved playing. She loved the game, and I could tell that from the very first day. So that, and also I honestly didn't know most of them were in the top 25% until like 2 months ago. And I think that's important, because each one of these seniors is leaving a mark. They're setting the standard high, like, okay, yes, they're seniors, but they also have to be good academic standing, because if they can't pass, they're not playing. For Diana, I met her, I think like last year. And I just thought she had a great personality. She was a little reserved, but she carried herself very well. She was able to, when she played, she just seemed so calm, so cool. She never seemed to freak out, no matter who she was going against. So that's what made me respect her as a player, as well as just like her grades. I'm never worried about her doing anything that I'm worried about. So I trust each one of these girls as well. And Liz, same with Liz, kind of about with Janet. She was one of the first ones I've got to know 2 years ago. She always gave me a hard time in a good way, no matter what it was. And she she's played, I think, like every position. Yeah, she has played every position. She's been a forward, she's been a midfielder, defender, goalie. So I know no matter where I put her, I can trust her to be effective in that role. I can put her at defensive mid, I can put her at striker, she's actually my backup goalie. So I think that's important, just being that, player. If something or someone goes down, I can be like, okay, Liz, go there. You know what to do. Like, I don't have to explain anything. She knows her role. As for Jackie, the way she carries herself is like, I think is just very professional. She's yes, so no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. She is arguably one of the most athletic kids in the program. She can run forever, does not get tired. She has a great left foot. She's smart. She just does it all in the best way possible. So I think with her, it's just like the type of person she is at this age. I think it's very important, and they're all going to be successful. And I have no doubt about that, whether it's in soccer, whether it's in school, no matter what it is, I think they're all going to succeed and be somebody more important than they are now.
Awesome. Well, ladies, I'm going to go around the same question to all three of y'all real quick. And we're going to start off with Janet this time, okay? Who was that person, or what was that moment that you fell in love with the sport of soccer?
For me, it was my dad. He was the one that, was like, you're going to play soccer. And like, I actually really liked it. Just because I started playing at a young age. And over the years, like I learned to fall in love with the game. And I mean, it's kind of like therapy. Like when you're mad, you kick the ball hard, and like it's just stuff like that. And the relationships I make with my teammates is also like something I will never forget. And I thank my dad for that, just because he's the one that showed me this game and that taught me like all my young years. And yeah, I'm just so thankful.
Elizabeth, what about you?
I actually hated the sport first.
Oh.
I did not like it. Because my dad is such a big fan, and it was when I was younger, and he would always watch football games, like soccer games. And I was just trying to watch my TV. So I was like, can you change it? Like, it's a boring game. They're just kicking the ball. Like, they haven't made a goal in the past 40 minutes. Like, what? And I don't know, like, I just did not like it. Like, I was like, I'm never playing this game ever again. And then I remember one day my dad just like took me outside to play. And then I was like, okay, I mean, I guess I like it. But like, I did start really like actually liking it until I want to say I was in like junior high, when I actually like started playing with my cousins. But it wasn't like a professional soccer, like good soccer. It was like street soccer, so you get rough and ugly, and I don't know, that's what I like. But then I was like, I kind of like it now, so I'll thank my dad as well, but not for the right reasons. But I think.
Gotcha. Okay, Diana, what about you?
For me, it was my older sister. She first started playing soccer before me, and I watched her play, and I would go to her games, and I would see like the game itself, and I really liked it. And so then I joined the club, and that's when I first started playing. And so she inspired me to play and to become better, and that's why I play too.
Awesome. Well, Coach, it's Tuesday afternoon right now. What are do y'all have a couple of events coming up? You've got a couple of get matches happening this week?
Yes, this week we play Life Oak Cliff in Ferris at 5:30 on Tuesday, and on Friday we play Mesquite High School in Ferris.
Whoa, that's a big team right there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, so I'm excited for both of them. Test, everything we've been working on, see what we need to continue to work on. Like I said, just mastering our craft, finding our identity on the field.
Well, awesome. Well, ladies, Coach, thank y'all for joining us so much. Look forward to getting back with y'all once we get the season rolling here, and checking up on y'all to see where we're at right when y'all start district play. And hopefully we'll have another great run from the Ferris team this year.
In Ellis County, we're always on the run. It's always good to know that someone's always there. Doesn't matter the time of day. With ATM Live, hours are always available. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always pull right up and talk to someone live for that personal service. Or stop by and visit with the friendly folks inside. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
In Midlothian Heritage men's basketball team, we've got Coach Slye, we've got Carrington Castile, we've got Hayden Wilson, we've got Austin Waltz and Greg Johnson joining us. Thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evening. And so, Coach Slye, I'll slide over there to you first. You guys finished the campaign off last year, 20-5, 10-2 district play. Probably got bounced a little earlier than you would have liked to, but overall a pretty successful season. I guess the question for you is, you got a good group here on with you. How's the off season gone for the team as a whole? And then how has it played into the start of this here 2021-2022 season?
Yeah, so I think you hit the nail on the head. We did get bounced a little bit earlier than we wanted. Got beat out in the first round by a really good Dallas Pinkston team. It's tough going into that Dallas district, knowing the kind of talent they have on each and every one of their teams. But our offseason was geared towards that specifically, not letting that happen again. So our offseason was extremely successful. Spent a lot of time in the weight room, spent a lot of time outside running, spent a lot of time in the gym developing some skill. And then for us as coaches, we took that loss as a learning lesson, because I've told the guys this: you can go 20-5 and be successful, and the record says it all, and then get beat in the first round, or you can prepare yourself throughout the season for those district opponents, those playoff opponents, and just have that process so that we're hopefully more successful in the playoffs this year.
Well, Carrington, I'm going to come to you first, just because in my picture frame, you're next right past Coach. So you got the short end of the stick on this one. But as a senior now this year, going into your last season, did you feel any difference when you were making your plans and working out this offseason to start this senior season? Does it feel a little surreal knowing it's your last one? Has there been a different atmosphere? Has anything been different from your junior year to senior year?
It's definitely been surreal. I don't think I've quite settled in that this is my last season. I think I'll start settling in towards the end of it. But I definitely made preparations, making sure, that my body's healthy. I had a early injury. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm just 100% by the end of the season, and just trying to do better each and every day, 1% better each and every day.
Nice. Hayden, coming over to you, how good does it feel to get to play these tournament games again, kind of full bore? Last year there were some rules and some COVID things that a lot of people stayed a little closer locally. Now it seems like schedules are opening wide open, which is great. But how does it feel to get out and play these tournaments again and get multiple games in a day and a weekend as y'all get prepared for district play here in a couple weeks?
It feels really good, because tournaments are the most fun part about basketball, and that's where we all get to spend time with each other. We get to spend all day and bond as a team, and that makes us better play. That makes us play better on the court, and it makes us better friends off the court.
Well, Austin, coming to you, I'm going to piggyback on kind of what Hayden said, talking about building team chemistry. How do you think the team chemistry is going this year? As a senior, you've been there now. You've seen it in multiple years. How do you feel the team chemistry so far to start the season is for you guys over there at Heritage?
Honestly, I feel like it's a lot better than past years. Being a senior now, I've been able to see like the younger guys grow up with each other, and we have a good group of young guys who have stuck close and have a tight bond with each other. So it makes basketball flow really well whenever we play, and off the court we help each other out and we have good bonds with that.
Awesome. Well, Greg, coming to you. I normally have a partner with me. His name's Tater Beard. And this is one of his favorite questions to ask. So in honor of him not being here, I'm going to ask it. But who is the one guy on bus rides or when you're maybe staying at one of these tournaments, as some teams do, that is getting everybody riled up, playing the music on the back of the bus, maybe after a big win, getting everybody crunk, getting ready to go? Who is that guy for your team?
That guy, huh?
Don't lie.
To think about. I mean, we got some people. It's more than one person, I feel like. But that guy, I would say it's between two people. I think I have to put myself in there just cause like I'm talking to person and stuff. And then I would probably have to put either. Yeah, that's a tough one. I would just say I'm gonna go with myself. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go with myself.
Well, I was looking, and by Coach Slye's reaction when I asked the question, I figured it was you. And so so what kind of music you playing?
Well, see, I haven't got to bring my speaker, not yet. But when I do bring it, I might go to the 90s. I'm gonna take it to the 90s.
The 90s? I like it.
Yes, sir.
And then I guess I got to ask this, and usually it's more popular with the girls, but what do we got to do to get Coach Slye on a TikTok? That seems to be a big thing.
Yeah, no, you're going to have to ask him that one because I don't even know.
All right, well, Coach Slye, what do we need to do to get you on a TikTok?
Man, that's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot.
State championship will do that?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely that. Whatever's best for the kids.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
If they like it, I'll get on a TikTok.
Hey, I was trying to set the bar high, but you made it easy for them.
Yeah, all about the kids.
Well, Coach Slye, I want to talk about the tournament games with you and the schedule that you guys have gone up against, because it hasn't been a cakewalk. Usually when you see teams, there's the route of, hey, we're just going to fluff it to give the guys confidence, get a lot of wins. And then you got the schedule, and it's almost the route that you guys are taking of, we're going to make it hard. Because ultimately it is 2 seasons. It's the district schedule that matters for playoffs and then getting ready for district. And so how do you feel like these early games, these early difficult games are shaping you guys as you prepare for district play?
This might be a strange answer coming from a coach, but I tell the guys all the time, I'm not too worried about the wins and losses right now. Obviously I want to win, very competitive. But I want to proceed and be playing our best basketball on December 21st and continue to grow from there. We know what's in our district. We know what's in the playoffs. Granted, we get there because our district is tough. Waxahachie Life, Ferris, Hillsboro, Godly, all the teams in our district are tough. So we know what's ahead of us. So the point of scheduling this year was to schedule tough, to schedule the 5As, the 6As, the ranked 4As. And we wanted to challenge ourselves and hopefully continue to progress as we continue out our season.
Awesome. Well, Carrington, I'm going to slide over to you. Want to ask you about Coach Slye and the coaching staff as a whole. As a senior now, you've been with him. Talk about what they've meant to you and your development on and off the court as well.
I've known Coach Slye for a very, very long time. I went to one of the basketball camps at the other high school, so I know him for quite a while. What he means to me, he has helped me basically develop in basketball throughout it all. I say he's been watching me for a very long time, so he's been giving me things to work on. Even now, like in the middle of the games, he'll come over and talk to me like, okay, you need to do this, and that, or he'll just give me some pointers on what I need to work on and stuff like that. So he means a lot to me, and all the other coaches' staff means a lot to me too, because they're able to connect with us on a deeper level and able to make us better overall as a team.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Hayden, sliding over to you as the youngest person on this meeting, as a junior on here. Talk about what this group of seniors that you guys have mean to you, the leadership that they bring, and maybe what are some things you've taken from them that you're definitely going to miss when they're gone.
They mean a lot to me because I've been playing with them since I was little, because I played up when I was little and I played with them. So we've all been friends. And one thing I would take from them is probably their effort level and how well they communicate with others. Just to, like, as a team, they help bring our teammates up instead of tearing them down.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Austin, as a senior and someone who you're on your last year, but it's more of a role of there are kids at the junior high level and younger that look to you guys. You know, they watch your games. You'll see them running around, but they say, "Hey, I want to be Austin. I want to be Greg. I want to be Carrington." What does it mean to you to be one of those leaders and to have those young kids look up? Does it ever cross your mind? Do you ever get that feeling? And does it mean something to have those young ones in Midlothian watching you guys play?
Yeah, no, it feels really special to be like a role model for little kids in middle school or elementary. They'll eventually be future Jaguars, but especially Coach Slye's son. Man, William, he's a character. He's a fun kid to be around, and every time we play, he's always there cheering us on. So it feels really special to mean something more to little kids, just as I was looking up to future high school players like, oh, wow, I want to be him.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Greg, I want to get some basketball info from you. What do you feel like you guys are accomplishing well on the court together right now? Maybe from a player's perspective, maybe what are one or two things that you guys think you guys need to improve on before that district game comes?
Well, sometimes as a team as a whole, we can start off kind of slow. So like I feel like to better us, we like start off at the pace as we would do like in the second half or nearing the end of the first half, because it kind of takes us time to like get going. But once we get going in jail, then it's pretty much a wrap. Like it's pretty much ball game because we really know each other's strength and stuff. But yeah, we can really start off good and start off like at the same pace and just keep it throughout the whole game. And I feel like we could be real successful that way.
I like it. Good answer. Coach Slye's over there nodding his head, so he's in agreement. And so, well, Coach Slye, when we ask these coaches to bring kids on, that there's a reason behind it. And between these four young men that you have with us, I'm sure they mean a whole lot to your program, mean a lot to you. Can you give us a little insight on these young men on and off the court and what makes them special to the program and to leave a good legacy behind?
Yeah, so all four of these guys have unique characteristics. They're all different in their own ways, but what they bring together when they are together is really cool to see. They all played varsity last year, and they know what it takes to win big games. They know what it feels like to lose big games. And I have put, I don't want to say pressure on them, but I have put a load on them to lead our team so that what happened last year doesn't happen again. But all four of these guys lead in their own ways. Carrington, you gotta pry it out of him to get him to talk. He's a quiet kid, but when he opens up big time. That's the same with Hayden. He's a silent kid, but he's been on varsity for a couple of years now, and people look up to him. Greg is far from that. He is not silent. He is, like he said, he is the guy that gets you going. There have been times this year where I've stepped out of the huddle during a timeout and let Greg do it, because I know that the energy that he brings is contagious. It is very beneficial to our team. And Austin, the way he works on the court, being a senior, it is unbelievable. You know, as a senior, you could take a step back and kind of be relaxed, but Austin is far from that. He is going to go work his tail off every single second of the game. They're all multi-sport athletes, whether it be track, football, baseball. We preach that here at Heritage, and I think that has helped them in the development of being an athlete and as a leader, both on and off the court.
Awesome. Well, this next question is going to be for all four of you young men, and we'll start with Carrington going first. But I want to know, who was it in your life, maybe a past coach, maybe a parent, but that really helped you find that spark in basketball and really helped drive that fire to bring you to where you are now? Carrington, I'll start with you.
Let's see. That's a very tough question. It's a long time ago, so I'd probably say my dad. He grew up very competitive person. He liked sports. He was very into football, and he's very sad to hear that I was playing basketball. But he still supports me because he's my dad. So, but he's been there since day one. So he helps me get better each and every day. And if there's anyone that inspired me, definitely him.
Awesome. Well, Hayden, what about you?
I would have to say my mom and dad, because ever since I was little, we were outside shooting basketball, playing horse around the world against each other. And they've always just helped me out, giving me little tips, because my mom played in high school. So she knows how to play. And she was always giving pointers and everything and telling me how to get better.
Now, how long did it take you to beat her? That's real quick. If you can even beat her.
It took a while, but she can still beat me sometimes, but only in shoot.
I like it. Well, Austin, what about you?
I don't want to copy them, but it's got to be my dad. Ever since I was little, ever since I can remember, I've always had some type of ball in my hand or some type of basketball in a hoop that I've always just been throwing it at, if I make it or not. But I don't want to put my dad down, but I'm almost like living out his dream, because he didn't really play all that much of sports in high school. So I'm kind of filling his role and doing the best I can in sports. And he always, after a game, if it's a good win or a bad loss, he's always there to support me. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, Greg, what about you?
Oh, my dad, no doubt. So like ever since I was little, ever since I was a baby, like I've always had like a basketball goal in my room, and I've always had one outside. And like I really liked it, and he knew I really liked it. But his sport is soccer, and I don't play soccer, and I never really cared for it. So I mean, it is what it is. But he still helped me with basketball, like even my left hand. Like when I was learning that left hand, I was like, I wasn't really liking it. But you got to have it. So he really helped me, and he's been there the whole way.
Awesome. Well, that's good to know, and I'm glad you chose basketball over soccer. And so the Coach Slye, what is the outlook for you guys here in the next week leading up to district play? What are some games you got on the schedule? So give the folks out there a little peek, maybe a good day that they can come out and watch.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're actually on the road, and we go play a really good 4A Waco La Vega team. They're sitting at 11-3 right now. Very talented. They were at our tournament. We got to see them play. Very talented. So we're looking forward to challenging ourselves there. And then Friday we play Fort Worth South Hills at our place. That kind of leads us into the break. We have one district game before the break, which is at Venus. And they're playing good basketball right now. I was telling the guys that this morning is they're playing really good basketball, so we got to be ready to play. And then we go to Fort Worth and play in the Whataburger tournament, which has been around for 35, I think, years. I mean, it's a great basketball tournament for any team. We were just privileged to get asked to come this year. So that's kind of what we have on the schedule for the next few weeks.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evening. It's giving us a little peek behind the curtain. Coach, you got a good group of kids. We wish y'all the best of luck. And then if you'll let us, hopefully you'll come back on maybe after that Whataburger tournament, give us a peek, kind of an update as district play gets kicked off. But thank y'all again. Y'all have a good evening, and let us know if there's anything we can do.
In Ellis County, you know where to go for the best pizzas and burgers.
Welcome to Doe City. How are you doing today?
A menu that allows you to have it just the way you like it. Great, friendly customer service. And all the toppings you can handle. So what do our customers say about Doe City?
We come up here all the time, so we love the pizza and the burgers also.
It's somewhere we can all come and have a good time with our friends and enjoy the good food that they have here. I love the fries.
And it's cooked to order, so you're always gonna get it fresh.
Doe City's always a great place to come and hang out with your friends.
Whether it's Tuesday or Friday night after a ball game in Ellis County, guess what? You can always make it over and have a little bit of Dolicious.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
So come in or order out at Doe City Pizza and Burgers in Red Oak, Texas.